Have a nice day, children. I hope you are all good and safe. Today we will see about History Lesson 4, the world after World War II. Introduction. The Second World War played a big part in the communist revolution in China. The emergence of US and the USSR as superpowers resulted in divisions of the world into two antagonistic blocs, that is a tiny opposition. A Cold War situation triggered deadly conflicts in Korea, Cuba, Vietnam, and West Asia. The non-aligned movement played a limited role in containing the conflict between the two power blocs. European countries started the European movement in the form of Council of Europe. This developed into the European Common Market and finally into what is today the European Union. The Cold War period ended with the fall of Berlin Wall. Chinese Revolution. First one is China in the pre-war period. In its long history, Chinese civilization was more advanced than that of Europe. But by the end of the 19th century, its progress had halted. The Manchus, the ruling dynasty, had governed China. The mass of peasant population was poverty stricken and suffered from high rents, high taxes, and shortage of land. There was very little industry, though some railway and engineering work had been built. Disconnect with the political and economic system resulted in a number of peasant uprisings. The Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 64 years, was a major rebellion. The death toll was 20 million. In the two opium wars of 1832 and 1848, China was defeated and was compelled to open its ports to Western powers. The opening of China to Western imperialism led to economic exploitation and the impoverishment of the Chinese people. In 1898, the young emperor initiated a series of reforms known as the 100 Days of Reform. But these reforms aroused tremendous opposition from the powerful conservatives and the Dowager Empress Cixi. She imprisoned them and reversed the reforms. Next one, the Chinese Revolution, 1911. The disintegration of the Manchu dynasty began with the death of the Dowager Empress in 1908. The new emperor was 2 years old and the provincial governors began to assert their independence. In October 1911, the local army mutinied. Mutinied means sudden broke, and the revolt spread. Provincial governors removed the Manchu garrisons and proclaimed their independence. Already there were a few middle class leaders. Dr. Sun Yat-sen was one among them. On hearing the news of the rising in a newspaper in the United States, Sun Yat-sen arrived in Shanghai and was immediately elected provisional president of the new Chinese Republic. We will see about now Dr. Sun Yat-sen, 1866 to 1925. He ruled. Born in a poor family near Canton, Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the father of modern China, was educated in a mission school and became a Christian. He was then trained as a doctor of medicine in Hong Kong. In 1905, he founded in Tokyo the political party which in 1912 became the Kuomintang or the National People's Party. Dr. Sun Yat-sen's three principles were nationalism, democracy, and people's livelihood, with socialism as the ultimate object. Yuan Shikai and after. The unity of China under Yuan Shikhoi lasted for 4 years. He was opposed to both democracy and republicanism. Yuan lost his prestige in the eyes of nationalism, control of Manchuria and Shantung. On his death in 1916, a new president was appointed for the next 12 years, but the government was central only in name. Communist Party of China. The ideas of Marx and Lenin became popular among intellectuals. In 1918, a society for the study of Marxism was formed in Peking University. Among the students who attended was Mao Zedong. Okay, now we will see about him, Mao Zedong. His years 1893 to 1976. Mao Zedong was born in China. His father was a wealthy peasant and a firm supporter of the Manchus. Mao began his full-fledged political activities of Hunan and emerged as a staunch communist. Kuomintang and Chiang Kai-shek. After the death of Sun Yat-sen, the leader of the Kuomintang was Chiang Kai-shek. He was organized on communist lines, but it did not adopt communist policies. The leader of Kuomintang was Chiang Kai-shek, already I said. He was successful in capturing Peking. There was a central government in China. Mao as organizer of peasants. Peasants is nothing but farmer. Mao had understood that the Kuomintang grip on the towns was very strong. So he concentrated his energies on organizing the peasantry. A few hundred communists led by Mao retreated into the wild mountains. As the army of Mao was gradually growing, the Kuomintang was unable to penetrate the mountains. The Long March 1934. As Chiang Kai-shek had built a circle of fortified is nothing but protection against attack, posts around the communist positions, Mao wanted to move out of Hunan for a safer territory. By 1933, Mao had gained full control of the Chinese Communist Party. In 1934, the Communist army of about 100,000 set out of the Long March. This march has become legendary. Legendary means celebrated. Of the 1,100 who set out, only 20,000 finally reached northern Shenhe late in 1935 after crossing nearly 6,000 miles. They were soon joined by other communist armies. By 1937, Mao had become the leader of over 10 million people. Next on Japanese aggression. Japan continued to occupy North Chinese provinces while developing Manchuria as a military base. Mao believed that Chiang Kai-shek was necessary for some time to hold together Kuomintang to fight the Japanese. As a consequence of this pragmatic policy, the attacks on the communists gradually stopped. Communist victory. With the surrender of the Japanese, both the Kuomintang and the communists sought to occupy the Japanese areas. In this race, the Kuomintang was successful. The cities and railways soon fell into the hands. With the massive support provided by the USA, Kuomintang government controlled the administration, ports and communication system. National People's Congress. The establishment of the People's Republic of China under the leadership of Mao Zedong was a world-shaking event. There were now two major communist powers in the world, the Soviet Union and People's Republic of China. Denial of UNO membership. The United States refused to recognize the People's Republic of China for more than 2 decades. Cold War, rivalry between the US and the Soviet Union. First one, Truman's policy of containment of communism. Truman, the president of USA, pursued a policy of containment of communism. The Soviets were, however, determined not only to maintain control of Eastern Europe but also keen on spreading communism worldwide. The rivalry that developed after Cold War II between the US and the USSR and their respective allies created tension which is referred to as Cold War. The Americans and the Britain feared Soviet domination. Marshall Plan, second one. The US conceived the Marshall Plan to bring the countries in Western Europe under its influence. The plan sought to help the countries of Europe with American dollars to facilitate their early recovery from the destruction caused by the Second World War. Now, the formation of military alliances. First one, NATO. The United States and its European allies formed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, that is NATO, to resist Soviet aggression in Europe 1949. It was an interstate military alliance between the countries of North America and Europe. The major member countries included Canada, Belgium, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal and the United Kingdom. Later, Greece and Turkey joined the organization in 1952. Germany joined the NATO in 1955. The chief objectives of NATO was the peace and security in the North Atlantic region. Next one is SEATO or Manila Pact, 1954. That is the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization. This is organized for the collective security of countries in Southeast Asia. Following the signing of the Manila Pact by the US, France, England, New Zealand, Australia, the Philippines, Thailand and Pakistan. Unlike the NATO alliance, SEATO had no joint commands with standing forces. Next one is Warsaw Pact. As a counter to the NATO, Soviet Union organized the Soviet bloc countries for a united military action under the Warsaw Pact. In December 1954, a conference of 8 European nations, namely Albania, Bulgaria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Poland, Romania and Russia took place in Moscow. They concluded the Treaty of May 14, 1955. This is known as the Warsaw Pact. A joint command of armed forces of the member countries with its headquarters in Moscow was set up. The Warsaw Pact was dissolved in 1991 following the breakup of USSR. Next one we will see about CENTO or the Baghdad Pact. In 1955, Turkey, Iraq, Great Britain, Pakistan and Iran signed a pact known as Baghdad Pact. In 1958, the United States joined the organization and thereafter it came to be known as the Central Treaty Organization. This treaty was open to any Arab nation desiring peace and security in the region. CENTO was dissolved in 1979. Next one we will see about Korean War. The Korean War made the Cold War really hot since Korea was patronized as North and South. 1945. The president of North Korea, Kim Il, that is the People's Republic of Korea, decided to act before his southern rival, Syngman Rhee, that is in Republic of Korea, got the chance. He launched an attack June 1950 with the tacit support of Stalin. Both Kim and Stalin did not expect the US to intervene. The war lasted for 3 years. The human cost was enormous, but the Korean people gained nothing. Next one, non-aligned movement. The non-aligned movement, NAM, emerged in the wake of decolonization that followed World War II. The NAM held its first conference at Belgrade in 1961 under the leadership of Tito, Yugoslavia, Nasser, Egypt, Nehru, India, Nkrumah, Ghana and Sukarno, Indonesia. The basic principle of non-alignment is peaceful coexistence, commitment to peace and security, no military alliance with any superpower, no permission for any superpower to build its military base in its territories. With the collapse of Soviet Union, the idea of non-alignment lost relevance. Next one, Cuban Missile Crisis. In April 1961, while landing an army of Cuban exiles on the island of Bay of Pigs, the US bombed Cuban airfields. US warships surrounded Cuba. The Kennedy government had received intelligence that the USSR was secretly installing nuclear missiles in Cuba. Finally, the Soviet President Khrushchev agreed to withdraw the missiles, and thus the missile crisis was diffused. Eventually, the two sides reached an agreement. The Soviet Union removed the missiles from Cuba on an understanding that the US would never invade Cuba again. Arab-Israeli War. The Treaty of Versailles 1919 had provided for mandates in Turkey's Arab Empire. This agreement upset the Arabs since they had expected independence at the end of World War I. Britain's promise to Zionist leaders that it would allocate one of the Arab lands, Palestine, to Jewish settlers from Europe. The UN resolved to partition the British mandate of Palestine into a Jewish state and an Arab state. That is in 29 November 1947. Clashes broke out almost immediately between Jews and Arabs in Palestine. The Israelis won control of the main road to Jerusalem and successfully repulsed a repeated Arab attack. Suez Canal Crisis. In 1952, Colonel Nasser became its president. In 1956, he nationalized the Suez Canal, which undermined British interests. With the failure of diplomacy, Britain and France decided to use force. Israel saw this an opportunity to open the Gulf of Aqaba to Israeli shipping and put a stop to Egyptian borders raids. On 29 October, Israeli forces invaded Egypt. Britain used this opportunity to demand that its troops be allowed to occupy the canal zone to protect the canal. Egypt refused, and on 31 October, Britain and France bombed Egyptian airfields and other installations as well as the Suez Canal area. However, under pressure of world opinion, Britain and France ended hostilities on 6th November. India, represented by Nehru, played a crucial role in resolving the crisis. Arab-Israeli War 1967. Ever since the formation of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, that is PLO, Israel came to be attacked frequently by Palestinian guerrilla groups. In November 1966, an Israeli strike on the village of Al Samu in the Jordanian West Bank left 18 dead and 54 wounded. Israel's air battle with Syria in April 1967 ended in the shooting down 6 Syrian MiG fighter jets. King Hussein of the Jordan signed a mutual defense pact with Egypt. Accordingly, it was decided to place Jordanian forces under Egyptian command. Soon Iraq too joined the alliance. Arab-Israeli War 1973. Egypt and Syria under President Anwar Sadat and Hafez al-Assad respectively concluded a secret agreement in January 1973 to bring their armies under one command. Sadat offered the Israelis a peace deal if they withdrew from Sinai. Israel rejected the offer. Egypt and Syria launched a sudden and surprise attack on the Yom Kippur religious holiday, that is in 6th October 1973. Though Israel suffered heavy casualties, it finally pushed back the Arab forces. Arabs gained nothing out of this war. Next one we will see about Vietnam War. By the end of Second World War, Viet Minh controlled the northern half of Vietnam. Viet Minh formed a government led by Ho Chi Minh in Hanoi. In March, the two governments, that is French and Viet Minh, reached an agreement by which North Vietnam was to be free state within an Indo-Chinese federation. In 1949, the French attempted to secure the support of the population by declaring Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia independent within the French Union, retaining only foreign affairs and defense under French control. While the French were receiving considerable financial aid from America, the Viet Minh were helped by the new Chinese Communist government. The French troops were eventually defeated. The Geneva Conference, that is held on 1954, that met on Korea and Indochina, decided that Vietnam was to be an independent state but temporarily divided. The Viet Minh to control the north and Bao Dai to head the government of the south. Cambodia and Laos were to be independent. North and South Vietnam united. Early in 1975, the war took a decisive turn. The armies of North Vietnam and of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam swept across the country, routing the American-supported troops of South Vietnam. By 30th April 1975, all the American troops had withdrawn and the capital of South Vietnam, Saigon, was liberated. North and South Vietnam were formally united as one country in 1976. The city of Saigon was renamed as Ho Chi Minh City after the great leader of Vietnamese people. Towards European Union, Council of Europe's first one of the momentous decisions taken in the post-war second era was to integrate the states of Western Europe. In doing so, the Europeans wanted first one that to prevent further European wars by ending the rivalry between France and Germany. Second one, to create a united Europe to resist any threat from Soviet Russia. Third one, to form a third force in the world to counterbalance the strength of the US and USSR. Fourth one, to make full use of the economic and military resources of Europe by organizing them on a continental scale. Next one, European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC, the European Defence Community, EDC, and the European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC, were established. 6 countries, that is France, West Germany, Italy, Belgium, Holland, and Luxembourg, belonging to ECSC, signed the Treaty of Rome, established the European Economic Community, that is EEC. Next one is European Economic Community, EEC. The EEC eliminated barriers to the movement of goods, services, capital, and labor. It also prohibited public policies or private agreements that restricted market competition. A common agricultural policy, that is CAP, and a common external trade policy were evolved. European Common Market was a remarkable success. Single European Act, SCA. The Single European Act came into force on July 1, 1987. It also called for more intensive coordination of foreign policy among member countries. According to the C, each member was given multiple votes depending on the country's population. Approval of legislation required roughly 2/3 of the votes of all members. Next one, European Union, EU. The Maastricht, that is Netherlands Treaty, signed on February 7, 1992, created the European Union. The monetary policy and a common currency, euro, to replace national currencies managed by common monetary institutions were subsequently planned and implemented. Today, the European Union has 28 member states and functions from its headquarters at Brussels, Belgium. Fall of Berlin Wall and end of Cold War era. The division of Germany into West, Federal Republic of Germany, and the East, German Democratic Republic, led to glaring differences in living standards. West Berlin's economy became prosperous thanks to the support received from the West under the Marshall Plan. In contrast, the USSR had a little interest in developing the economy of East Berlin. Further, people in East Berlin suffered from lack of democracy and freedom. Therefore, people of East Berlin moved to West Berlin in large numbers. In West Berlin, on the other hand, there was a fear that the Soviets could use military force to take West Berlin. East Germany began to construct a wall in 1961 which virtually cut off West Berlin from East Berlin and the surrounding East German areas. It was heavily guarded with watchtowers and other lethal impediments to stop people from the east. In the late 1980s, as USSR's hold over Eastern European countries was weakening, a mass of people assembled on 9th November 1989 on both sides of the wall and began to demolish it. Germany was officially reunited on 3rd October 1990. The Berlin Wall was more than just a physical barrier. It was a symbolic boundary between communism and capitalism. With the fall of the Berlin Wall, followed by the collapse of the Soviet Union, and Cold War era came to an end. Disintegration of the Soviet Union. In the 1970s and early 1980s, the Soviet Union continued to retain a strong and dominant position in international politics. However, its economy was suffering and was unable to match the productive capacity of the First World. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev took over as a head of the USSR. Gorbachev spoke about the need for openness, that is glasnost, and the reform, perestroika. But his commitment to reform, apart from opposition within the ruling Communist Party, did not match the resources available to USSR. In the middle of the 1980s, about 1/3 of the total GDP was going to the military. It became necessary for the Soviet Union to allocate more funds to military. The increase in military budget further strained the Soviet economy. The year 1988 saw the first mass protest, first in Armenia and then in the Baltic states. Earlier Soviet regimes had used severe repression to quell such uprisings. Gorbachev could not take recourse to such brutal measures. The Chernobyl disaster, a major accident in a nuclear plant in Ukraine in 1986, was another blow. Gorbachev made moves to stabilize his position by reliance on conservative forces in 1989 and 1991. But on each occasion he was interrupted by massive miners' strike which came close to cripple the country's energy supplies. In the meantime, 3 Baltic states had formally left the Soviet Union. They were admitted to the UN as independent countries: Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. In November 1991, 11 republics, Ukraine, Georgia, Belarus, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan announced a Commonwealth of Independent States. On 25th December, Gorbachev announced his resignation. For 6 days, the Soviet Union continued to exist only in name, and at midnight on 31 December 1991, it was formally dissolved. The USSR was no more. Okay, ma, land properly. Thank you. Take care.